Hello and welcome back to yet another short demonstration of Json. And here I want to talk about the two main methods in Json, and they are stringify and parse. So before this, I've been confused over when to use these two different parsing methods and what is the difference. But for right now, I want to just briefly show a working example of each of these methods. So in this folder here, I have my HTML file, my JavaScript file, my JSON file, and a text document. The text document is where I want to pull the data from that I will eventually stringify and parse the data with. So I pull up that HTML file, and this is the web page that's displayed. So first I want to take a working example for the parsing method. So I pull the data from a text file and display the contents. So I click here, and what that does is that basically displays a string of unorganized, almost unable to follow this information. It's almost unreadable in the current format that it's in. So what do I want to do? I want to organize that. So I organize the information, and all of a sudden we can read this perfectly. We have Dustin Christensen and Sean Luna, their age, their position, their degree, and their years of experience. Now what do I want to do? I've parsed that information to make it readable, taken it out of a string format and organized it. Now I want to stringify it. And as I was doing my research, I realized that these two methods are basically inverse of each other. When you combine these two methods, it helps to validate the data and turn it human readable, as we see in this first working example. JSON stringify turns a JavaScript object into JSON text and then stores that text in a string. So here we're going to input this data here, which is the same information as displayed up here, and then we will display it in a text. And all of a sudden, it's back to the way it looked like up here. So JSON parse turns a string of JSON text into a JavaScript object. Now, JSON parse is for parsing something that was received as JSON, and stringify is to create a JSON string out of, let's say, a JavaScript object or an array. And that's it for this demonstration. Overall, it was great to learn that these two methods are basically inverse of each other, and when you use them both, it makes information human readable and just easier to look at on the eye. So let's take a brief look at my working code behind this as my HTML file. I have my JavaScript source file up here. I won't pull that up right now, but here's just a brief look at the two methods in JSON. Here's my parsing method here. I want to pull the data from the text file and display it. And then a button here, it organizes the data, and both of those are part of that JavaScript file that I've created. And down here is just a brief look at the stringify method in JSON.